okay? These are young Republicans, young Democrats, trying to put on a reasonable forum for the mayor candidates. I don't do that much social media, but this individual has a history of being belligerent, and now he's attacking 17-year-old kids. And for whatever reason, that he was able to get a hold of the administration and the principals up there, and he perceived that he was going to stop this forum tonight, but it didn't work. And so I actually feel sorry for that man. I pity him. I don't know what his problem is, but there's no place in this community for that type of hate. I mean, these are just young kids wanting to get involved in the democratic process. And he's a disgrace. And he's Lionel's right-hand man, or left hand. I think Don's is right.
As a student at the university and someone from out of state, I'm finding it somewhat difficult to become involved in local politics. There seems to be a lot of information that's not fully disclosed to the public. There seems to be a lot of workings that are done behind closed doors or with selected groups of people. Can either one of you, or hopefully both of you, make a commitment to more transparency whenever dealing in these issues which affect all of us, that only seem to be decided or at least deliberated by a very small group of people? So to shorten the question, will we see more transparency in local government?
You won't see the rules being suspended and all 3 readings in one night and forcing it down the people's throats of Fayetteville. You won't see any of that in my administration, because that's exactly what's going on. 84% tax increase over the last year, okay? 84% on personal property and property taxes by this administration. The public didn't get to vent any of that, okay? It's this administration thinking they know best for the people of Fayetteville, okay? I'm not into special elections, I'm not into higher taxes, and I'm certainly not into the administration suspending the rules and doing all 3 readings and adopting stuff in a single night that's supposed to take 6 weeks to air in the public domain. So yes, I'll be as transparent as possible, and I'll allow everybody to vent their anger.
Like I alluded to earlier, all of us need to be involved, whether that's the elderly shut-ins that need to be notified of what's going on, they don't have internet, can't afford it, or all these people that 14% of our population on total household income is under 10,000. We need at least a postcard sent to them, a survey, something. Everybody has to be involved. And I'll have open door hours. Like Tom said, I've had the same cell phone for a long time myself. You're welcome to call me, or you can email me. My email address is momblock1@hotmail.com. We'll all work together. Send me on that side.
Both answer questions, so I'm going to go back to the back, someone that hasn't asked you.
I am that student's mother. Thank you both for being here tonight. And it's unfortunate that the students couldn't come since the event was canceled. But it was never hosted by Fayetteville High School. It was hosted by the Fayetteville High School Young Republicans and the Young Democrats Club. And it was the high school's decision late this afternoon that they should cancel the event. So I just wanted to clarify that. And they never felt bullied by anyone at the school. I kind of thought I heard that, and I apologize if I heard wrong. They were just told that the event was being canceled from the school administration. So,
Thank you. Questions? Do you have a question here?
Yes, really for both of you, Mr. Terminelli reminded me by talking about special elections, but it's not just for him. Special elections, the ones we've had over the last 10 years, have been called by either the city council, who's elected by their own wards, or by citizen petition. As mayor, how would you have any jurisdiction over stopping special elections from happening?
I want to know why we just spent $150,000 of the taxpayers' money on 3 special elections when we have one November 8th of next week.
Sir, didn't you sign a petition to have one of those special elections?
Did I sign a petition
Yes,
to
sir.
have one? No, I was probably reacting to one of them.
No, sir, your petition to repeal 119 is right here.
Okay?
You signed a petition for a special election.
Okay, hey,
So please be honest.
who teed it up? Who teed up the special election?
I believe that was some of the people you gave money to for the campaigns this year.
Uh-huh, uh-huh,
Mr. Faniff and Mr., well, Luttrell isn't running, but
uh-huh.
I believe you know them, sir.
Yeah, absolutely, and I support Mr. Faniff and his run, and Mr. Hoskins, and Gary McHenry. I absolutely support them, and Nathan Allen, because they're Christians and they have core values that I believe in. And, you know, I just, that's my stance.
Sure. If you want to see this later, I'll be available.
No, I've signed, lots of things over the years, and, that one just, you know, eluded me.
Can you comment on the special elections?
Like I said, I've been told by, not just a few people, but several hundred people in our community that said, just because they reworded it, we have to spend those extra taxpayer dollars to have those elections. You know, like I said, it could have all been put in the general election.
I want to look back briefly at the, you mentioned the 84% property tax increase. And that's actually an estimated 84% increase in the revenue that the city gets from the funding portion of the property tax collections. The city funding portion of the property tax was raised from 3.1 to 4.1 mils. That's only 32% increase. And that hadn't been changed previously since 2005. So it's an old rate. When you're quoting the 84%, do you know what that means, or are you trying to be misleading?
I'm quoting collective. We went just from 1 mil to 4.75 mils on the library that we don't need, okay? Collectively, 84% tax increase collectively. I'm not an accountant. These are stats that are out there that I'm quoting. So, you know, I'll refer to our CFO. He can, you know, I'll refer to Mr. Becker. He'll understand how much, increases on all of our personal property and all of our real estate here in Fayetteville.
But as mayor, wouldn't it be important for you to understand the difference between the mills and the collection?
Oh, it's real important. It's real important to know how much bond debt we have, how much we're servicing. Some $16 million a year of the taxpayers' money is going to service those bonds. And when I become more familiar and get into the budgets, I'll be able to speak more confidently about it. But I've had the luxury of being in there like Mr. Jordan or Mr. Marr for the last 7.5 years in knowing those numbers. But I intend to get real involved in them.
That's interesting, because to answer the transparency question, all of the documents are online, all of the meetings are televised. So
Yeah, and I run 2 enterprises and have 4 kids and a wife, and, you know, I work for a living, and I have to run my businesses. So, you know, if I'm elected mayor, then I'll be able to focus time, because the taxpayers will put me there, and I'll research all of that, and I'll understand those numbers, and I'll be able to confidently speak to it at that time.
So you'll get ready for the job after we get it to you.
Follow-ups, let's please let Mr. Bobbles reply, and we can have follow-ups.
To answer your question, and simple what Tom said, like I said, when we're elected, whichever one of us are elected, we'll have time to do that stuff. But right now, we're busy with other things, like I said, working, trying to make ends. Okay? Then I'll have time, when I'm elected, I'll have time to go through them. Yes, I'm big on budgets. I've had to learn budget almost nothing. Okay? I've got an accounting degree and a finance degree. So yes, I'll study it and I'll hit it hard, every single bit of it. And I'll have Mr. Becker be responsible for it.
Did you still have questions?
Yeah, I've got questions. Speaking of special elections and not suspending the rules and doing 3 readings in one night, completely overriding the purpose of 3 readings, was there one of those events that happened this year specifically targeting advertising signs or political signs for one of the candidates in this race? And that goes to both of you. Second question, that's my first question, was did the city demonstrate their hubris and their arrogance against the people by suspending the rules that are designed for us to be involved, specifically to attack political signage? And then the second question I have is, do you think it's fair or unfair to accuse you of being for special elections when the special election you were for was to undo a special election where the city of government of Fayetteville read 3 readings, skipped all the clauses and did all that in the first place? So in other words, First question was there,
Repeat that first part.
the first one, did the city of Fayetteville skip the 3 readings, which is designed to bring the population in? Did they suspend the rules so that they could specifically change political signage to prevent signage in this campaign for mayor? That's the first question.
Here, do you want to allow them to respond, and I can come back to you for the second
That'll
one,
work.
so they can hit both points?
Yeah.
I witnessed that on Channel 216, our public channel. They passed it so quick I could hardly keep up with it. But they passed an ordinance it was 2 meetings ago, so it would have been a month ago, 4 weeks ago, to limit the size of campaign signs to 32 square feet, which is a 4x8 sheet of plywood. I guess Mr. Jordan didn't have any trailers or any banners. And so he must have felt threatened, and he got the whole council to go along with it. And yes, they suspended the rules, all 3 readings in one night. And I'm pretty sure that goes contrary to our First Amendment. Who are that? So they're gonna tell us next week we can only go to Walmart on Wednesday mornings if your name starts with T? It's a bunch of nonsense. You know, this is America, we have rights, and I think they've overstepped their boundary on that one, and I'm willing to challenge it.
Jeff, do you want to give a response to the first question?
I'm sorry, I must have missed that, but that program that night, I did not know about that. But, I think as far as we're talking about signs, okay, the gentleman's willing to put his own money into those signs, fine, okay? But you've got Mr. Jordan begging people for for contributions to make him signs, okay? They can get tax deductions other ways. They can give charitable organizations, they can give to churches, they can give to feed these people that are suffering, that can't even feed their families, okay? So, I'm sorry, Mr. Jordan should have used his own money for the sign instead of begging other people. That's all I got.
Your second
The
question?
second question is, do you think it's fair that people attack a candidate for being for special elections when the intent of the special election was to undo an unneeded special election forced upon the people to their great protest in the first place by the city? It took a while. Let me rephrase it. Do you think it's fair to attack a candidate for being for special elections when the intent of the special election was to undo an unneeded special election that happened previously?
I didn't
I'm
attack
flipping the
anybody.
tables on you. Do you feel it's fair?
Well, I'll tell you that I think that's a little unfair, in my opinion.
Okay, I'd have to agree with you, sir.
I didn't attack anybody, it was a question.
Thank you. I needed a little lightening of the mood. That's cute.
No, I agree with
You think I attacked you, sir? You think I attacked you by asking you a
No, I'm the
question?
one that said you attacked me.
Okay,
And
you
it's clear
said
to
you
anyone
agreed,
with
you
half
said
brain
that he
you
agreed
are.
with you. Okay.
It's obvious.
What's the agree on lightning and moon?
And I'm so sorry. I still feel like none of them should be bullied.
Okay.
They all should be protected. Every single one.
Actually, the stipend ordinance was passed the way it was, to be in compliance with the SCOTUS decision that came out a few weeks ago. And there was an amendment to the existing ordinance, which brings me to a question about signs. Mr. Terminelli, you talked about the value of our sign ordinance and keeping Fayetteville a beautiful town to live in and drive through, the stream side and hillside protection ordinances and the drainage manual and all these other things that make Fayetteville so great. But the question is, besides the sign ordinance, are there any other laws you intend to completely ignore if you're elected? Because you have the big trailer signs that were blatantly illegal.
I think their law that they passed is unconstitutional, period.
But it's the law, and it was passed to be in compliance with the Supreme Court.
That's your opinion.
No, it's actually the law.
That's your opinion.
We're gonna take one or two more questions, and then we're gonna move to closing statement.
All right, so we're about
Well, actually, sorry, I told her earlier that she could have a question, and she went off.
You have given some attention to the protection of our public servants, primarily fire and police. Has the wife of a dead firefighter, I consider myself as a wife, not as a widow, exactly what do you plan to do, Mr. Turnell, to help prevent our firefighters who are about 30% more likely to get cancer than other members of the population. There are a lot of safeguards. Have you looked into that and educated yourself on that?
All of our public servants need all the protections that should be afforded by a municipality. I have not looked in detail in the fire department on their unfunded assets either. But I'm sure there's breathing apparatuses and there's equipment that are needed there. I just haven't gone through it like I've gone through the police department.
Well, since Mayor Jordan got elected, they actually, I think they're now all ventilated thanks to Lionel Jordan. But I know your campaign was suggesting that these fire and signs that have been put up in yards like mine for Lionel Jordan, that's all union supported, that's not individuals. Can you respond to why your campaign would think that? Or also in the same vein, why you are telling these people that Lionel Jordan supporters destroyed your campaign signs? Is there some reason that makes you think that?
Well, we've got surveillance video of people spray painting the signs. I'm assuming they weren't my supporters.
Well, sir, but they could be your creditors, right, or past, anybody mad at you?
I have no creditors mad at me, and to my knowledge, I try to treat everybody the way I'd like to be treated. And when I'm treated with respect, I try to give that back.
Have those surveillance tapes been turned into the prosecuting attorney's office?
No, because the biggest part of them are unlegible, but we do know that it is a forward-focused, dark in color with two males. And there is a IT guy looking at it right now to try to get a license plate number.
Was there a police report out?
No, there was not, because I chose not to after talking to the police chief about it. Because it's petty, and he said it goes on all the time in these types of campaigns. So I think they have other things that are more important than chasing down the vandals for campaign signs.
Do you stand by your comment that Lionel Jordan, because his signs have been destroyed too, it tends to happen as you just said. It's a pretty petty complaint, because I think everybody in this room knows that campaign signs get destroyed on both sides. When it's being put out there on your official Tom Terminello page and in this room this evening, that his supporters did that, I was just wondering if you actually had a factual basis for that, or if it was an assumption.
I'm assuming that my other candidates' supporters did something with my signage.
You answered it when you said you were assuming. We all know what happens when you do that. Thank you.
Nasty.
I'm a nasty woman. That's right.
May I answer one of the first part of your question about we're all very concerned about fire. One of the previous mayors made a comment on my Facebook this week about it. I explained to them that some of them that were on that state-funded issue, we're gonna be out of money shortly. The fireman's gonna be out before the police, we're both gonna run out, okay? And she made this comment that they get 80% of their salary in a pension, and they only have to work 20 years to get it, okay? All I said back to her, and I probably shouldn't have responded to her, I just asked her, did she or Mayor Jordan ever go into a burning building to save someone, or have they ever been shot at or been a crime? So yes, I fully concur. I'm definitely worried about the safety of all of them.
Mayor Jordan was volunteer fire, to my understanding, just to answer that.
I'm sorry, I didn't think I could.
I think we'll finish up, sorry, we cut you off, but we'll allow someone that had not asked a question to ask one, and we'll let you wrap this up.
All right, so over the past few years, we've seen a lot of development in downtown Fayetteville, and one thing that comes to mind is a new student housing development right next to the Harmon parking deck, and there's a couple other examples of that. There's just big, boxy looking developments for students. I just wanted to know what either of y'all's plan is to, preserve the historic downtown Fayetteville that we all, have grown up around and know and love. What you would do to preserve that?
Well, I would like to move, like I said, this may upset some of the students, but I'd like to move some of the housing into the outer areas. Because we've had so many people talk about, they just feel claustrophobic with those same facilities you're talking about. So, that's a possibility. We need to look at it.
I've heard from quite a few of my constituents downtown. View shed is a big thing. somebody described it as 10 pounds of beans in a 5-pound sack the other day. It's too dense. We're changing the whole culture of downtown. We're wiping out complete city blocks. You know, I know the university's growing. We've got to accommodate the kids. But I think we can do it in a little bit better manner to where we don't have that type of density pouring out into our streets. And, you know, the latest project that's underway down there, they've wiped out a total city block, and the whole culture of that whole community and viewshed has changed forever. And I don't think it's very responsible, personally.
We're gonna move on to the closing statements portion of tonight. Each candidate will have the opportunity for a 2-minute closing statement, and either one of y'all can start off.
Go ahead, Ron.
I've been changed on quite a bit since we changed the format tonight. And the young public, and the Democrats here, but I sure appreciate these young ladies right here. I'd like to thank you for the opportunity to speak to you tonight. Questions, answers, and all of you asked, well thought out. It shows a true energy for understanding and finding solutions to tough community and political issues. Thank you again. I hope I've earned your trust and confidence to be the next mayor of Fayetteville.
In closing, I believe that my leadership for Fayetteville's future will be bright. I believe growth and prosperity can happen here in Fayetteville for everyone. I believe the attitude of our city leadership will play an enormous part in whether or not Fayetteville reaches its full potential. As mayor of Fayetteville, I promise to bring pro-growth, pro-business, pro-resident attitude to work every day. I promise to listen to you. I promise to be accessible. And I promise to work tirelessly each and every day on your behalf. I want to thank each of you for coming tonight. A lot of you I know I've already got your vote. Some I know I'll never have your vote. With that being said, good night and God bless all of you.
There's a lot of confusion leading up to this, but we wanted to help make sure the intent of those students that were trying to become involved in democracy was able to still continue on in all of the things that go on this Saturday. So I appreciate you coming and asking questions, and I will continue to do that until November 8th of all.
You girls are awesome. Thank you.
Sorry I kept bumping you, I apologize.
You did a
I
good
get
job.
fidgety in my chair.
You did good.
How you doing?
How's it going?
Happy belated birthday to see you.
Come around here.
His birthday's Halloween.
Oh,
It's my mom's birthday. Well, that's what I was gonna say. Yeah, I know. I was gonna. I wanted.
Sorry.
I wanted to jump on that and go. So Mom gets
It's been great.
Oh my goodness.
What's it here?
So I guess they got the questions in advance. Yeah,
It makes it easy.
What made you think that?
Questions and
I guarantee if I was moderating,
they asked the audience some questions and they answered them.
I'll find out.
But I'm
Hey, see you, Aubrey.
So I don't know what the deal is there. It doesn't matter whose it is, as long as people just ask the questions. I just want to ask the questions. They have an answer. That's what I was looking for. What kind of form is that?
Can't imagine people who would set something like this up on a night when the Cubs were playing.
Oh, no, we were devastated when we got called and said it was still on.
I know. And you showed up though.
World Series, last game.
I just came to keep Kim out of trouble.
I was like, I need legal representation. Take the
Blame it on her, blame it on her.